Welcome. I'm honored and grateful to have you here practicing with me today. And what a day it is. 2020 is certainly showing us that we are in the throes of the Aquarian age. If you don't know the history, we are shifting out of the Piscean age, that was from 0 to 2000, and now we're shifting into the Aquarian age. In the Piscean age, the emphasis was power and hierarchy. The mantra was, as Shakespeare said, to be or not to be. There was a lot of focus on right, wrong, have not, etc. So now we are shifting into an Aquarian age. And this is an age where we shed the individual and we become part of a collective consciousness. So that brings in the age of information and the age of networking and community building. So COVID-19 actually helped us prime ourselves for what we are going through. Now is the time for change. Now is the time to disrupt all of the systems that do not work. We are shifting out of black and white and into Technicolor. And we are starting to understand that there are all of the colors of the rainbow in every hue and variation, in all walks of life, in all ways of living. All of it blessed by the divine. When we practice yoga, we're not just practicing for ourselves. Yes, you may feel more serene. You may feel more healthy. You may feel more flexible. You may feel stronger. But it also shifts the way you project yourself. When you practice yoga, you become more connected to your inspired self, your most wise self, your more compassionate self. When you serve all of those needs, you become more confident. You need less. You can give more. Your kindness is contagious, and your light inspires others. So today when we practice, I want you to bring someone in. Because as I said, your practice isn't just for you, it's for bringing the world together. And we start with just one person. Today, I'm going to ask you to bring in someone who's a bit different than you. Someone who may be from another state in the country or some other country around the world. It might be someone who is much older than you or much younger than you. Someone who you know has had a very different life experience. And think about your differences. Maybe you get along, maybe you don't. Think about how their upbringing was different than yours. Maybe their family dynamics were different than yours. Perhaps they have different food that they love, different music they listen to. Feels like they have a complete different culture from you. So hold them with you in this space. Close your eyes. Ground yourself into the earth. Go within. Connect with your breath. And see how you feel. Where is flowing inside your body? Where are you holding on to tension? Where are you relaxed? Now I want you to sit with that person and see all your similarities. We are all human after all. And as my 11-year-old daughter, who is wise beyond her years, noticed last week, she said, we are all like eggs. We all have a sturdy yet fragile shell, but when you crack us open, we're all the same inside. And that is true. So I want you to, again, ground yourself, close your eyes, go deep and just sit with the feeling of, how am I similar to this person? You just convinced yourself how different you are. Now bring in their similarities. What drew you to think of them today? How do you know them? What is your favorite memory that you have with them? Is there a moment that you caught each other's eyes and felt connected? Let that feeling grow. For we are all more similar than we are different. And again, notice how you feel. Close your eyes. Where's your breath flowing? Where are you feeling tense? Where are you feeling relaxed? Perhaps notice if you softened somehow when thinking of similarities versus differences. Allow yourself to be however you are. Again, no judgment. It's just an exercise. Place your person off to the side just for a moment so that you can tune in to yourself with yourself. Set an intention for how you want to feel at the end of this class. Again, this is your time. You spend it the way you want to. You came here looking for something. Identify what that is. Sit with it for a moment. We are going to tune in with the Adi mantra. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. It means I bow to the creative wisdom. I bow to the divine teacher within. We chant this to tune into the divine flow. We chant this to tune into the wisdom of all the sages who have ever walked this earth, to tap into that energy, that wisdom. We also chant this to allow for whatever self-knowledge is ready to come up, to come from the darkness into the light. So I'm going to ask you once again, make sure you're nice and rooted. If you're at all uncomfortable, you can always shift your position. The point is, when you're in yoga and you're sitting, you sit with comfortable legs and seat so that you can sit up nice and tall with your spine and your head just floats on top. So find a comfortable seat, root into the earth, beautiful long spine, relaxed shoulders, the head is relaxed, the face is relaxed. You can close the eye and focus on the third eye point, which is right between the brows. We're going to rub our palms together to generate some heat and wake up our nervous system. We're going to plant our thumbs into our breastbone, our sternum. Push your palms into one another, fingertips pressing into fingertips, knuckles pressing into knuckles. You'll sense your collarbones widen, your shoulders widen, and your heart open. We're going to exhale deeply, inhale deeply, and chant Om Namo Gurudev Namo 3 times. If you don't know it, it's your first time, just close your eyes and listen. But if you want to chant along once you have it, please do. So exhale deeply, inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. You can keep your eyes closed. Just see how you feel once again, observing the self, the thoughts, the sensations, the serenity. Now let's get moving. I'll meet you on the mat. So position yourself in the middle of your mat and find your hands and your knees. Your hands are right under your shoulders and your knees are right under your hips. Have a nice long spine, and you're going to exhale, draw your navel to your spine, and inhale, release the belly, head looks up, sit bones reach up to the sky. Exhale, full cat, push into the floor with your hands and your shins. Inhale, flex your spine. Exhale, curl your spine. Inhale, flex your spine. Yoga tip, anytime you are bending forward, you exhale. Anytime you bend backward, you inhale. So move with your breath. Let your breath move your body. Last round. Come to a neutral spine, tuck your toes, find your down dog. Soft knees to start, pedal your feet. One heel lifts off and then the other. Just starting to wake up the feet, roll through them. Wake up the shins, the thighs, the hips, the hamstrings. Let's come to our neutral dog. Reach your heels towards the earth. If your heels are on the floor, you might take a wider stance. If your feet are way off this floor, then maybe you take a shorter stance. You find what your body is allowing today. Breathe deep, long breaths. Really flex through all of your fingers and root them into the mat. Push them into the mat. Shift your hips back in space. Breathe into that nice long spine. Inhale up onto the toes. Exhale, lower the heels. 2 more times. Going with your breath. Inhale up. Exhale down. Let your breath lead your movement. 1 more time up onto the toes. Bend your knees, sink your booty back, and then walk your feet up to meet your hands. Let your knees be bent as much as needs for our first forward bend. Your hands can stay on the mat, or you can clasp opposite elbows. Exhale deeply. Sigh something out. Let the day go. Come back to your intention. Hands on the thighs. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand. Roll those shoulders up and down the spine. Really root through the feet. Sense your feet, all 4 corners of your feet on the floor. You can lift your toes off, wiggle them around, and then root back in. But really feel grounded. Close your eyes. And let's bring in that person that we brought in from the beginning. Imagine you are standing opposite that person. Imagine you are staring them in the eye. Notice however you're feeling. And then smile. Smile at your shared humanity. And then let your eyes open, scoop them up with your hands. Let your palms touch. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Plant your hands, walk into a plank. Your knees can always come to the floor as long as you are straight from your shoulders, actually the crown of your head, through your body, through your hips to your knees. You want to do 3 push-ups. Keeping those elbows in toward the ribs. Lift your knees up if they are bent, and we're gonna do 3 rock climbs. So you're just gonna tap your toe in the middle of your mat 3 times each side. Now shift back into down dog. Really feel your feet here. Shorten your stance just a little bit. And then you're going to take your right hand and you're going to reach for your left ankle. Soft knees. If you want to move on, you're going to push into that ankle and give yourself a side twist. Breathe. Try to stay over both feet equally. Power through that left hand so it's nice and strong. Come back to downward dog and switch sides. If this balance is too intense, you can just stay and breathe in down dog. There's no need to go beyond the scope of what your body will allow today. But if you are someone that likes to try and be curious, with every inhale, release. With every exhale, twist a little bit more. If you're someone who wants to see how much further you can go, with every exhale, release, and with every inhale, twist a little more. Come back to down dog. Inhale onto the toes. Exhale, bend those knees. And then walk up to meet your mat. Walk up to meet your hands at the top of your mat. Inhale halfway, exhale fold. Root to rise. Arms come all the way up. Place them at your heart center and let them fall back down to the side. Now imagine you are standing side by side with the person you brought into your practice today. Imagine you are on the same side of things, that you're standing together to fight for something you both believe in. Again, just notice how you feel. Notice any thoughts or sensations. It is possible to be on the same side. Everything is possible. Open your eyes, lift your arms up, scoop them up, and then fold forward. Inhale halfway, plant your hands, walk back into your plank. 3 push-ups again. Six rock climbers. Shift back into your down dog. Let's lift our right leg into the sky, 3-legged dog. Stack your right hip over your left.
If you want to move on from there, bend your right knee. Let it drape over towards your left side. Breathe into the twist of your spine. Extend your legs, square your hips, come through crescent lunge. So find your hands on your hips. Your heels should be over your toes, so not sunk back, hovering right over. Really bend your toes. It's a good stretch for your toes. Root your tailbone down between your legs. Raise your arms up to the sky. Now we're going to take an open twist. So open toward your back leg. And then we're going to rotate through the center to a closed twist. Gaze over your back arm, your right arm if you can. Come through the center. Squeeze your thighs together to hold your balance. And go really smooth and slow as you rotate, taking in the entire room. Come back to center, lift the arms up, maybe gaze up to the sky, and then find your plank. Take your vinyasa, which is your chaturanga half push-up, into your cobra. So thighs are on the earth, pushing with those hands, soft bend in the elbows, keeping those shoulders nice and open, and then tuck toes, down dog. Root through your right foot, lift your left to the sky, stack that left hip over the right, then bend the knee. Let gravity open your hip as you breathe into the twist of the spine. Soft standing knee, soft bend so you're not hyperextended. Extend the legs, square the hips, crescent lunge on the other side. So you can always walk up your body, find your balance. Arms up. And again, let's come open, gazing over the back if you can, slowly coming through the center. So see the entire spectrum of the room. Notice, maybe pick a color, or just observe your surroundings. See how things shift, how stable you have to be in your trunk when you're being so flexible on moving on the top. Come back, gaze up to the sky. A little gratitude for all the beautiful things we own in this world. Hands down, find your plank. Take your vinyasa, half push-up chaturanga, cobra, upward dog. Your tops of your feet are in the earth and your thighs lift up. That's only if your spine is nice and warm and ready. Find your down dog. Stay here for 3 breaths. Inhale up onto the toes, sink back, and walk up to meet your hands. Inhale halfway, exhale fold. Come to stand. Inhale up, exhale fold. Inhale halfway, find your plank. Again, knees can always come down. Chaturanga, into your cobra or upward dog, and down dog. 3 breaths. Three-legged dog with the right leg up. Stack the hip, bend the knee. Extend the leg, square the hip. This time, let's come up to warrior two. So you're gonna come through your crescent lunge and then spin the back edge of the back foot to the mat and open nice and wide. So your whole body is turned sideways. You're just gazing over your front middle finger. Dancing Shiva, inhale. And come through center, exhale, push out to warrior two. Two more times, moving with your breath. Flip that front palm, surrender. Come through warrior two, extended side angle. The right elbow comes to the right knee. I always have to adjust a little bit just to make sure that my knee is over my front foot. You can gaze down at your big toe. You can gaze to the side of the room, or you can gaze up to the palm of your hand. Come back to warrior two. Transition to warrior one. The back foot comes in just a little bit because you always want your knees and your toes pointing the same direction. Another yoga tip. Save your knees. Warrior one, the hips are square to the front of the mat. Then from here, we're going to spring off that back leg and come into warrior three. Your hands can be out to the front. If you're having problems wobbling, you can always have them at your heart center. You can also bend your knee, use the floor or a block or a wall. Let's flex our back foot and stand on our back foot as if we're, as much as we're standing on our standing leg. So pretend that you're standing on two surfaces. It will help your balance. Focus on one spot on the floor. Will help your balance as well. From here, put your hands on the floor, drop your head, lift your foot. Just keep the energy of the leg lifted. You don't have to have it go to the sky. 3 breaths here. Then come back to warrior three, just for a moment to prove that you can, and then sink yourself gracefully into your lunge. Plant your hands, find your plank, take your vinyasa. You can always skip the vinyasa and just meet up in down dog. That is also allowed. 3-legged dog on the other side. 3 breaths here. Extend the leg. Come through. Warrior two. Dancing Shiva. Shiva was the god of destruction so that new things could be created. So bring in the good stuff, usher out whatever is old and outdated. Flip your palms, surrender. Come back through warrior two, extended side angle. You're making a line from your fingertips through your shoulders and hips to the back edge of the back leg. And you're using that elbow on the knee to help draw your belly to the side so that you can then twist your ribs and twist your chest up to the sky. Come back through warrior 2. Find your warrior 1. And then get ready to spring into warrior 3. Go slow. Be conscious. Conscious of where your gaze is. Squeeze thighs together. Stand on both legs equally. Drop the hands, drop the head, lift the leg. Standing split. Come back through to your warrior 3 just for a moment, and then find your lunge. Plant those hands, plank, chaturanga, cobra upward dog, and down dog. 3 breaths here. Breathe into wherever needs breath. Whether it's your low back, your hips or your hamstrings, your toes, your feet, your shoulders. And let's take a little break. So we're gonna lower our shins, sink our hips back, and find a child's pose. Child's pose is incredibly restorative, especially if you have your forehead touching something. So you can stack your fists, or just do one fist, or a palm, or just the mat. Breathe deeply. Breathe all the way into your tailbone. Feel the breath moving against your thighs and along your spine. Take any fatigue and exhale it into the mat. And then inhale fresh prana, fresh energy, fresh motivation to do that one more round. Find your down dog. Lift the heels, bend the knees, and if you're ready to hop forward, go ahead and hop forward. Inhale halfway, exhale fold. This time, let's take our hands, make a basket with them, place them at the top of the spine, the base of the neck, and let gravity have you. Let it traction your neck just a little bit. Deep breaths. Exhale, sigh something out. Let something go. Release your bind. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Come to stand. This time you choose. Are you standing in front of or beside your person? Has anything shifted? Has any lightness come in? Any levity? Any knowing? And one more time, scoop them up with your arms, palms touch. This time, sink back into a chair. So you're gonna walk your toes together, squeeze your toes, your knees and your thighs together, and you're gonna sit your booty way back. Your chest is staying behind your knees, so not tipping forward. Really sit that booty back. Use your pelvic floor and your core. Then root through those heels. Weight into the toes, back bend. Exhale, fold. Inhale halfway.
Plant your hands, find your plank. If you want to jump back, go right ahead. Take your vinyasa, or you can always do child's pose or down dog. We'll meet up here, taking 3 breaths. Three-legged dog, right side. This time, if you want to, reach your right foot all the way over to the floor. Flip your dog, reaching the palm, the right hand straight out. Really lift those hips up and breathe into the front body. Imagine you're grabbing for that person, and let's bring them into our heart, which is nice and open right now. Inhale and exhale. Lift that leg back into 3-legged dog. Come through. Find your crescent lunge into warrior 2. Dancing Shiva. Inhale. Exhale. Bring in the good. Let out the junk. Intentional spring cleaning. Flip that front palm. Surrender. Surrender to things that might not be ready to let go. Perhaps surrender to things that are ready to let go, but you're scared to. Come back through your warrior 2, for you are a warrior. Come into your warrior 1. Using the breath and the consciousness, come into your warrior 3. However, you need to. Lower down, standing split, leg comes high. Come back through your warrior 3. Find your lunge. Find your plank. Take your vinyasa. Breathe. Reconnect with your breath. Slow your breath down. Left leg comes up, 3-legged dog. Flipping it on the other side. Reaching your left arm way out. Breathe into the front body. Again, reach for that person, bring them into your heart. Even here, even now. And then reach back out. And come back into your warrior 3. Come through crescent into warrior 2. Dancing Shiva. Get intentional. Surrender. Come back to warrior 2 and find your warrior 1.
Warrior 3. Find your breath. Standing split. Come back through Warrior 3. Find your lunge. Take your flow. Pause at that top. Down dog. 3 breaths. Sighs are welcome. Inhale onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Zip the booty back. Hop or float to the front of your mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Clasp opposite elbows. Again, nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Feel really heavy in the elbows, the shoulders, and the head. Hands on your thighs. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Arms come all the way up. Sink back into your chair. Inhale, root to rise. Find your hands at prayer center. And then find your stand once again. I'm going to face you. Take a nice wide straddle. Place your hands on your hips. Soft knees, fold forward at the hips. Let your hands come down to catch you and let your head go. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Walk yourself over to your right leg. Fold over your right leg. Breathe into your low belly. Breathe into low spine. Breathe into hips and backs of legs. Come over to the left side. Just breathing and hanging out and letting gravity help. Come back over to your right. Grab your right ankle with your left hand, sort of like we did at the beginning, but this time your right arm's going to come straight out of your shoulder up to the sky and give yourself a twist. So your head can reach forward or it can be folded down. You can explore the pose and see what feels good. Let your right arm come down, grab your left ankle, and now your left arm's to the sky. And again, would you rather have your head coming out to the side wall or bent down? Just different stretch, different parts of the body. Again, this is important for you to figure out what feels good, what your body needs right now. Let your left arm come down. Walk your hands, so turn your hands backward, and you're going to spider walk your hands through your legs and let your head go. Walk your hands back in front of your face, and you're gonna come and bend your right knee and just shift your weight over to in front of your right foot. So you're getting a nice stretch on the inside of the left hip and thigh. And then walk yourself over like a crab
Breathe into wherever is tight. Shift back one more time. You can come all the way down if you wish. And then crab walk yourself through the center to the other side. Shift back one more time. If you want to go further, you can let your right arm press against your right shin and knee and extend your left up to the sky. Your left toes are pointing to the ceiling. A left arm comes down, crab walk to the left, and left arm reaches under, helps open that left hip as you then open your front body as well. Breathe into wherever is tight. And then come back through your center. This time we are going to grab opposite elbows. So you may need to shift your legs. If your head is on the floor, you might want to scoot your legs together so it hangs off a little bit. Or if you're nowhere near the floor, you can always widen your stance so your head gets there. We're going to clasp our elbows, then clasp our hands, and then rest our head on the floor. So your weight is on your feet and the top of your head, but mostly the forearms, which are pushing fiercely into the floor. And your sit bones are reaching way up. And we're just prepping to see what it's like to be balancing on our forearms, our elbows, our hands, and our feet. All right, push yourself way up. Heel toe your feet together a little bit so that you can have your feet underneath you, hands to your hip, and come up. Let's heel toe our feet all the way in. Or just bring your feet together underneath you. All right, we're gonna come back into a chair. So we're gonna lift our arms all the way up. Keep that nice long spine. Bend your knees, sink your booty back. Hands are in prayer. And this time we're gonna twist. So we're gonna hook our left elbow on the right side of the right knee. And then you're gonna gaze to the side. So a nice long spine, your crown is reaching away from your sit bones. Deep bend in the knees, keep squeezing those thighs together. Make sure your knees and your toes are the same width, that you're not sinking your knees one way or the other, which is the tendency. So your hips are sinking way back. I'm gonna turn this way. If you wish to move on from here, lift your left leg. Find a lunge behind you. Now you're in a twisted lunge. Then find your warrior two. Cartwheel yourself down. Find your plank. Vinyasa. Down dog. Inhale onto the toes. Exhale. Hop to the front of your mat or walk. Inhale, fold, come to stand. Other side. Arms up, chair, twist. If you're feeling it, weight into that left leg. Softly test the right and then just sink it way back. Find your lunge. Warrior two. Plank. Come all the way down. Rest your right ear on the floor. I don't know if you can see me,
but I'm laying on my belly on the floor. My head turned to the left. Feel your heartbeat. Feel your belly moving with breath. And slow your breath down. Turn your head to the right, rest your left ear on the floor. Just stretch out both sides of the neck equally. And give us a little bit more of a break. Forehead to the mat. Exhale deeply. Then inhale, lift the head and the toes. Lift the palms up toward the ceiling and then try to touch your thumbs behind your back. Energetically, they may not do it at all. 3 breaths here. And then exhale, let your right ear come to the mat, relax. Toes together, heels flop out. 1 huge exhale. Forehead to the mat, toes turn back in. Inhale up. This time, palms are facing the floor. Reach your pinkies together. Squeeze your thighs, lift your toes, lift your chest and your head. Every inhale, intensify. And then release your left ear to the mat. Toes together, heels flop out. Connect with your breath again. Last time, this time we're gonna bend our knees towards our booty. Flex your feet if you can. Reach for wherever you can on your feet. So you could use a strap around your feet and grab onto it here, or you can reach for your heels, or if your knees will bend, grab the tops of your feet. And if you have lots of give in your thighs, you can flex your feet. Inhale up. Exhale, relax, and then inhale, intensify. Hold it one more time. Kick your hands into your arms, pull your feet with your legs, and then release. Let's shift back into a child's pose. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Breathe into your low back. Slowing the breath down. Observing how your body feels. Perhaps coming back to your intention. Come through hands and knees. And we're gonna come into pigeon pose. Pigeon pose, your front knee can be parallel, or it's more intense on your knees. It can be, your shin can be parallel to the front of the mat. So option 1, your thighs are parallel to your body, or your shin is too. And option 2, your shin is perpendicular to your body, parallel to the front of the mat. I often like to stick a pillow underneath my right top of thigh to help shift my weight over to the left. You're going to plant your hands by your thighs, puff out your chest, and then slowly lower down. Go slow. We'll be here for 5 deep breaths so that the breath and gravity can work together to help open the hip.
As you start to get comfortable, you can walk yourself out a little bit further. Come up, find your king pigeon just one more time. Let's bring the left leg around and switch to the other side. So set yourself up with nice square hips. Flex your front foot fiercely to protect your front knee. Find your hands by your hips, open the shoulders and the chest. And then when you're ready, start to melt down toward the earth. Again, you can just start on your hands. And after 3 or 4 breaths, maybe see about getting to your forearms. And after a few more breaths there, maybe seeing if you can get further down. And one side might be way different than the other, and that's fine. It's just giving us information. Walk yourself up. Let that right leg come around. Come back to your hands and your knees. And you may want to get near a wall for this part. We're going to go drop down to our elbows. Wrap our elbows so we know how far our elbows should be from one another. Then find your clasp. You're going to tuck your head into the basket. Your weight is not going to be on your head. Your weight is in the energy of this hand clasp, and it's rooting into the earth. And your forearms are fired up from your elbows through your forearms to your hands. Your head rests gently, and you push your elbows into the floor. You feel your shoulder girdle fire up too. Get nice and strong. You're going to come into your down dog. You're going to keep walking your hips over and find your inversion. Again, you can do this against a wall so that if you fall, your wall's right there. Come down gently. Rest in child's pose with one ear on the floor to stretch your neck out. Switch sides. Come up to sit, and let's lie down, hugging the knees into the chest, letting the left leg extend, right leg crosses over, supine twist. Come through center, switch your legs. Left knee drapes over the right side of the body. Left arm goes out to the left. Breathe. Come back through the center. Hug the knees in one more time. Extend the legs out. Find your resting pose, your Shavasana. All that hard work is paying off right here. So feel the weight of your whole body on the floor. Feel your head sink into the floor. Feel your shoulders sink into the floor. Feel your spine sink into the floor. Feel your hips and legs, arms, hands and feet. Focus on the breath and then let it go. Come back into your physical body. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. Circle your wrists and your ankles. Stretch your arms up over your head. Open your eyes and look around. Just your eyeballs. And then curl your knees into your chest. Give yourself a huge hug. And draw that person in that you've been practicing with this whole time. Give them a hug too. Everyone needs more hugs right about now. And then roll onto one side. Let your arm support your head. Sink into Mama Earth. Let her hold you. Really release. Feel your brain shift to the side that's closest to the floor. Feel all your organs shift with gravity toward the floor. Let your upper arm help you find your way to sit. The prayer of Guru Gobind Singh. HUD. Every time you chant HUD, you're going to bring your navel in towards your spine. That activates your power center. And then we're going to go through and chant all the 8 aspects of the divine. Your sun finger, your ring finger is folded down by your thumb, and these rest on your knee. And you're going to gaze at the tip of your nose. There's always all these things. So bring your finger in front of you, find your tip of your nose, and you're going to gaze down. You can always close your eyes if you need to. Had, Gobinde. Had, Mukande. Had, Udare. Had, Apare. Had, Hariyam. Had, Kariyam. Had, Liname. Had, Akame. Had, Govinde. Had, Mukande. Had, Udare. Had, Apare. Had, Hariyam. Had, Kariyam. Had, Niname. Had, 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 Mukande. Had, 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 Udare. Had, 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 Apare. Had, 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 Hariyam. Had, 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 Kariyam. Had, 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 Niname. Had, 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 Akame. So close your eyes, inhale deep. Squeeze every muscle that you have around every bone in your body. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Pull up your pelvic floor, pull in your navel center. And then exhale, release. Release the mudra, but keep your eyes closed and see how you feel. Sense in your body all the sensations. So that meditation invokes fearlessness and helps to remove obstacles as we as a global community unite in radiance and truth. So bring your palms together, rub them together to say thank you, nervous system. Plug your thumbs into your palms. Sit up nice and tall. We'll close with one long Satnam. Exhale deeply. Inhale. Satnam. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Namaste.